Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Pairs Deluxe Edition. This is a game that's currently on Amazon and other places right now for about $17 or so. Keep in mind that the prices on Amazon do fluctuate based on demand, but you should find this game between 15 and 20 bucks roughly. So this game is for 2 to 8 players and it's for ages 8 and up. The play time will vary depending on what you go with here. Now, there are a number of games out there already that include this type of deck, in the sense that there's 1-1, 2-2s, 3-3s, 4-4s, 5-5s, 6-6s, 7-7s, 8-8s, 9-9s, and 10-10s. So in this game, we're going to be featuring the core game of Pairs. This rulebook actually contains more than 30 pairs, games, and variations. So here's a quick look at the rulebook. You can see all the different example of play, how to play pairs, continuous pairs, calamities, pieces of 8, playing for chips. More games, there's Blackstone, Carousel, Deadfall, Ghost Town, Goblin Poker, Horn of Plenty, The Judge, the variant Kitty, variant Monster, Octopus. Some of these may sound familiar to you, I don't know. A lot of them don't to me. I only recognize Deadfall because I do believe I actually have a separate deck of this that features that particular game type. So like I said, there's 1-1, 2-2, 3-3s in this deck. And what you're going to do is every time you start fresh with this deck, you're going to shuffle it up and then deal 5 face down to the middle of the table. And I'm doing this one-handed, so apologies. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so these cards are not to be looked at. This is just to add a little bit of variety to the game. Players don't know what these cards are, so for those of you that count cards and are good at it, you don't know if 6 6s have come up yet. Let's say there's 5 6s that you've seen throughout the course of the rounds before this deck is reshuffled again. Let's say you've seen 5 6s. You don't know if the 6/6 is somewhere in the deck or if it's one of the 5 face down cards here. So it's a way for card counters to still be a little left in the dark. So what's going to happen here is, and again, this is just the basic game of Pairs. Again, there's a whole bunch of variations listed in the rulebook. So each player is going to get 1 card face up. Let's just say I'm doing a 2-player game. So you've got a 6 and a 3. The lowest card goes first. So on a player's turn, they can choose either hit or fold. If they hit, they're hoping that this card will not match something that they already have. So if this player draws a 3, and if they hit and they draw 3, the round is over, and they score 3 points. The idea here is not to score any points. Okay, it's like Uno in the sense that you're trying to get as few points as possible, and in this game, the player that reaches a certain point limit first is the loser and everyone else wins. So this player has the option to either hit or fold. If a player folds, the round is over, just like as if they had matched a card after hitting. However, whenever they fold, they can choose any card on the table and take that as their points. Okay, so let's say that if I hit here and he matched the 3s, he would get 3 points and add it to his total. If he decided to fold right now, the lowest card out of everything is still the 3, so he would still score 3 points. So it doesn't make any sense to fold, so he's going to hit. So let's just say he does that, and he got a 7. Now it's this player's turn. This player's going to decide, okay, do I want to fold for 3 points, because again, you can choose whenever you fold, or I can hit and risk getting 6 points, assuming I draw a 6 here. He's going to go ahead and take the risk, and it's a 4. Okay, so now this player gets to go again. So this player goes, okay, if I hit and I draw 3 or 7, if I draw 3, I score 3 points. If I draw 7, I score 7 points. And again, you don't want points in this game. If I fold right now, I can just score 3 points and be done with it. So it's sort of like a game of chicken. Which player is going to fold and take the points first? And again, if you fold, normally you would get the better of that deal, because whenever you get matches, you don't have any. Whenever you get a match, you don't have any choice. You have to take the point value of the cards that match. But if you fold, you actually get a choice. So in most cases, folding is preferable, but you could take the risk and not do that. So this player is going to hit again. It's a 9, no problem there. This player is going to go, okay, so there's 3 more 4s in here, possibly here. There's also 5 6s possibly in here. Again, they may be one of these face down cards. We don't know. He's going to go ahead and hit. And it's an 8, so he's safe. This player sees that he's got a 3, 7, and 9. There's a good chance that he may draw a 9. Less so that there's a 7, and even less so that there's a 3, because there's only 2 more 3s somewhere in there, or maybe in here. He's going to go ahead and hit again, and it's a 6. Okay, that's actually good for this player, because this player has a 6, so now there's a reduced chance of drawing a 6 from this deck should he hit. But again, there still may be an 8. I mean, there's a good chance there may be an 8 coming up pretty soon, because there's 8 8s in the deck. So he's going to go ahead and say hit. It's a 9. That's actually good for that player. This player goes, okay, do I really want to take the chance that the next card I draw is going to be, you know, a 7, a 6, or a 9? If he draws a 3, he'll score 3 points. But if he folds now, he can take the 3 points and be done with it. But again, if he draws a 7, 9, or 6, he has to take that particular point value. You know, he's going to go ahead and fold at this point. He doesn't want to risk drawing a 6, 7, or 9. So this player is going to fold. All of the players will go ahead and discard their cards like so and put it into the center of the table. And I do believe, and I do have to check the rule book because there's a lot of different variants and I may have gotten them confused. But whenever the round ends, discard all the cards face down into the middle and deal another round. Scoring cards, those cards that were kept aside for points, are not discarded. Okay, so this card is put off to the side, sort of like a reminder as to how many points you currently have. So after that, then a new card is dealt face up to each player to start a new round. Again, we do not draw 5 and put them face down at the beginning of every round. Rather, whenever this draw deck runs out and we need more cards to draw between or draw from, we would reshuffle the discard pile, put it here, and then put 5 more face down. So you only draw those 5 whenever you're shuffling the deck for a new deck. So we're going to go ahead and give 1 to each player. There's a 3 and there's an 8. Okay, so 3 and 8, this player gets to go first. He's going to decide, okay, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go ahead and hit 3 and a 6. This player could fold right now for 3 points or risk getting 8 points. He's going to go ahead and hit. Oh, okay, so he got an 8 here. Round is over. These score. Okay, and I don't know. It doesn't specify. It just says discard all the cards in the player stacks face down in the middle and deal into round. Scoring cards, those cards that were kept aside for points, are not discarded. So I don't know if if you catch pair each score, you keep one of those cards aside face up to track your score. Okay, so one of these 8s would go here, and this one would stay here, and then a new round begins. And there's a little chart in the rulebook that tells you what the target score is depending on the number of players in the game, and you can feel free to adjust this if you'd like to. That way you can either make the game longer or shorter depending on what you want. And again, this will continue until one player reaches one of those scores. And again, that was just the basic game of pairs. There's breaking a tie for low, some hints for dealing. Continuous pairs is sort of like an advanced version of that game where the round doesn't automatically end whenever someone folds or gets a pair, like they'll keep going. So there's some rules regarding that. And again, calamities, pieces of aid, and all the other ones I read off to you. There's a lot here. So in theory, could you just get a deck of these cards cheaper from somewhere else and then wiki or Google pairs variations? Yes, you could. That's one thing. I mean, I don't want to recommend that you do that, but that is one possibility should you not want to pay $17 for another deck of the same cards. With that being said, it's pretty light in terms of, and pretty small in terms of size. So it makes a good travel game should you just want to pick up the game and accept the fact that you're paying for more, you're more paying for the rules than you are for the deck of cards, because these cards can be found in a number of different games. Again, there's a number of different 1 through 10 decks out there that feature games like this. So if you already have a deck of cards that features that, then, you know, like I said, you could in theory Google, but it's up to you. I mean, it depends on how hard up you are for money. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, times are hard right now, so you may want to. It's up to you. But again, this is available on Amazon right now for about 17 bucks. I personally like the different variations, and the rulebook is pretty easy to understand. So my advice, if you're a family that likes to get together for casual card games every now and again, like let's say you play, I don't know, poker or some other spades, hearts, different things like that. Let's say you play something like that, or clubs on a regular basis, and you're looking for something different, like sort of like an activity book full of different games, then pairs might be a good choice for your family. If you're an experienced gamer and you already have this deck out there and you already know a lot of different pairs variants based on what you've looked up online, $17 may not be worth it for you, and the price may not be worth it for you, but still, it's definitely something to look at. It's definitely one of those things where it's going to depend on your situation as to whether or not you're a casual gamer family that has no experience with this, or if you're more of like an experienced gamer that does and already has a deck like this and no variants and games based on this. So there you go, folks. That is Pairs. I will put a link in the below description should you want to pick it up for yourself. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my channel and check out my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.